Welcome to the recruiting visit. I'm your host, John Sirianidis, and for the inaugural episode of this offseason, I am lucky to be joined by Xaverian Brothers wide receiver defensive back, Christian McIntyre. Christian, great to see you, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's hard to believe that we're already in mid-January. Patriots
Yeah.
are playing some great football. Of course, they're going to be in the AFC Championship game on Sunday. It's nice to have football still in January, although it is hard to believe that it's been almost 6 weeks since the Super Bowl was at Gillette Stadium. And, of course, you guys were able to three-peat. And I want to start there. And, of course, we're going to spend this show talking about you, your high school career, the recruiting process and whatnot. But I want to start the show off by asking you, how awesome is it that you guys were able to do that you were able to three-peat? You're the first Division I team to three-peat since Everett did it in the early 2000s. How cool is it for you guys that you were able to accomplish that? Something that's very rare, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's not something that happens often.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I can't even express the feeling just like having 3 years of varsity football and just not losing in a playoff game. Like, it's just such a blessing to, be at a school like this where, losing isn't an option. Like, we have to win. So, like, that was just our mentality for 3 years straight. And just after every single season, every time winning it, it just got more and more sweet. After winning it this year, just rethinking the last 4 years here is just, it's just insane.
It is insane. And I think it's one of those things where when you win a state title, obviously it's a legacy team, right? People are going to be talking about that team for years to come. When you go back to back, that's something that people will never forget.
Right.
Again, those are two legacy teams. Now we're talking about 3 senior classes that were able to go on and win state championships. And I hate throwing this term around because I kind of feel like it's overused, but there is really an immortality aspect to the whole thing. Like, you guys are going to be remembered forever, or as long as Xaverian Brothers High School is standing.
Yeah, it's surreal thinking about it. Like, and especially because every single year, everyone count us out. There was always people saying like, "Oh, well, Xaverian's done for." Like, they won it last year. There's no way they can do it again. And just the fact that we dealt with that every single year and thought about that after every single practice and just said, hey, like, let's just go out there and play our game and see what happens. And the results were exactly what we wanted.
Let's talk about your football journey. You're a local kid, obviously. Yeah. We talked before we went live. Me and your dad, I should say, went to the same high school. Went to Norwood High School. I remember your dad being a really good athlete. Talk about your football journey. How old were you when you got into football? When did you start playing, and how did you end up at Xaverian?
Oh yeah, so I started playing football since probably the last year of preschool. Started flag football, and then I played up until the first year when tackle was allowed in 2nd grade. And my dad actually coached me 2nd through 5th grade, and I played Norwood from 2nd to 8th grade. I had a great experience. Made a lot of lifelong friends playing Norwood. Definitely something that I'll never forget, and those are still some of my best football memories. But then I thought, at the time, actually, I was a quarterback through that entire time, and I was planning to go to Norwood High to just continue legacy, and I wanted to be a Mustang and all that. But my mom really made a push for me just to, you should go to Xaverian. Like, you should set yourself up for the long term. Not saying that, like, Norwood is bad or anything like that. It's just like the legacy at Xaverian, like the connections they can get me and everything like that. It's just like, you can't beat it. So she pushed me to go there. Eventually, my dad agreed with her. I didn't agree at first. I wanted to go to Norwood. I got to Xaverian, and I can't thank them enough every single second of the day. Whenever they say, like, oh, like, do you think we made the right decision? 100%. And I got there, tried to be a quarterback, met my best friend, Will Wood. And 2 weeks into training camp, my coaches saw me run a few routes, and they were like, all right, like, I think it's time to switch it around here. So then I just started playing receiver, started playing safety, got pretty good at it. And then going into my sophomore year, I met Henry Hasselbeck, who probably shaped me to who I am today. It was just me and him, 6:30 before school every single day before my sophomore year. We would throw and throw and throw. Usually I'd be the only one there. Sometimes there'd be a few more people there, but that's really where I took like a jump to, a player that could actually, I think, could play in college. And then after that, it was just working hard from there and keep upgrading skills and whatnot and developing as a player. And eventually I just got to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, and of course, we talked about you guys three-peating to start the show.
Yeah.
But one thing, when you look at your senior class, and one of the reasons you guys were able to three-peat, you mentioned Henry, you mentioned Will. One of the reasons you guys were able to three-peat is the fact that you had really good junior and senior classes that piggybacked off each other to where you had contributors from both classes all 3 years.
Yeah.
When you look at Will's been starting since he was a sophomore. Had you as a junior, had Dave Chivagato, whose dad also went to Norwood High School. In fact, Dave's dad and I graduated together in the class of 93. But you guys, you were underclassmen, but then you had guys like Dom Funk, who was a senior, and some of the other seniors that you had on the team this year. That's a big key to your success. But that also helped you guys develop because you guys got an opportunity to play pretty early on and make an impact, which is huge because typically when guys get that opportunity to play as sophomores, or let's say they start as juniors, you really see it paying dividends when they're seniors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just being able to be on the field sophomore year during the Super Bowl. I mean, I didn't have my finest moments just because I was a young kid out there going against, 3 stars and whatnot, and kids that were 2.5 years older than me and way bigger. But just being out there, experiencing that, obviously I still had fun. I still made plays, but it just taught me to, be calm under pressure in the following years. That's how I've been able to perform under pressure without, taking a look back for a second, knowing that I'm going to be able to do stuff. It's just that lucky experience I was blessed to have when I was a sophomore, and even the junior. You never know. Some people don't play as a junior. Just all these moments leading up to this year is what has shaped me.
So you fast forward to senior year, and it's supposed to be the Chivagato and McIntyre show. Dave is dealing with an injury. He misses most of his senior year. Thankfully for you guys, he comes back for the playoffs, and you guys are the most dynamic duo in the state. But now you've been thrust into a greater role on offense. Now, traditionally, when you think of Xaverian football, it's physical football. You win along the line of scrimmage. You win with your running backs, run the ball, play good defense, play mistake-free special teams. For years, it was a recipe for success for this football program. Dave goes down. Now you're thrust into being the guy instead of being one of the two guys, and you step up your game immensely, and you put up monster numbers. Let me read your numbers here for you, and if they're wrong, correct me, but I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. You ended up with 1,562 yards. You caught 65 passes, 26 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. Those are video game numbers. That's Madden stuff. That's not typical high school stuff. How were you able to make that jump? I mean, it's easy to say, okay, I saw my teammate dealing with an injury. I knew I needed to step up, and I stepped up. But, dude, you went beyond stepping up here, man. You, legitimately took over games. How did that happen?
I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, I believed I could do this my whole life. Every single year I played football, I think I've been capable of a season like this. It's just maybe opportunities were shorted, and sometimes, you don't get the opportunities you want. But senior year, I mean, I just knew that this was my last chance to really make a mark. And, unfortunately losing Dave, that was detrimental to our team. And you saw that because when he came back in playoffs, you saw what happened. But in the time being, I really just had to make my mark, and I wanted to let everyone know, that I'm here and I can do these things.
Yeah, and I think that's just it, right? I mean, sometimes, and again, it's not just, well, if Dave were here, you might not have put up these numbers. I still think you would have put up big numbers. I mean, you guys were literally unstoppable. But that being said, it also takes a certain kind of athlete. You need to seize the moment. Psychologically speaking, how did you put yourself in a position where you could seize the moment, seize the opportunity, and make the most of it?
I mean, you just got to realize that, it's just football. You're out there to have fun. So in the moment, it's everything I've dreamed for is right now. There's thousands of people watching. So why not make a play? Why not make the crowd roar? It was just the adrenaline in the situations and the love for football just mixed together. And, I just did my thing. And it was a great time.
You mentioned your quarterback, Will Wood. Of course, he's a junior. He's going to be returning next year for his senior season. How instrumental was he to your success this season?
I mean, he's ridiculous. He's obviously a Power 4 quarterback. I think he'll be a quarterback that has offers all over the country. He already does, but I mean, they're just going to stack up. I mean, he's a relentless worker. He's fearless. He's not afraid to take a hit, not afraid to step up in the pocket, not afraid to run. And we really made our mark this year together as a duo, and just his work ethic and everything like that. I mean, he whips the ball around. Like, he does not miss a throw. He's consistent. He only threw one interception this year, and it was a tip ball. Like, he did not make a mistake. I have his most respect. I'm excited to see what he can do next year. I think they're going to be a solid team again. He's got some weapons coming up, so I believe that they can four-peat it. There's no doubt in my mind with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is one of the top signal callers in the state. Talking about Coach Al Finaro and what he means to you. Al's been around the Xaverian football program forever, a longtime defensive coordinator, head coach now. Being the head football coach at Xaverian is not easy. A lot of pressure there, high expectations. What does he mean to you guys as a team and to you individually?
I mean, he's the heart and soul of our team. The pregame speeches, his quotes, I mean, they're game-changing. And the way he cares about us, the way he preps us in the offseason, has us lifting 3 times a week, has us running all the time, just shows how much he cares about, Xaverian football and the Xaverian community. He always pays respect to the people who show up to the games and everything like that. It's just I believe he's the heart and soul of Xaverian, in my opinion, just because of what he's done for the community, how many championships he's brought here, and how much he's done for us. He goes out of his way to reach out to schools for me that I want to reach out to. And I know he'd do anything for me. So, I mean, I'm just really appreciative of him.
Yeah, he really is. And look, I mean, we know a lot of coaches doing this at New England Football Journal, and he really, truly does exactly what you just said, which is he's constantly communicating with the coaches, us in the media, really trying to find ways to get you guys, to get as many eyes on you guys as possible, and to give you as many opportunities as possible. And you can hear it when you talk to him about his players. He genuinely cares about his players. There's love there for his players. He wants to see them succeed. He wants to see them have opportunities. And not to get corny on you here, but I think when you have a coach like that, a staff like that, when there's that bond with the coaches and the players, that's how you end up having success ultimately.
100%.
Sure, it takes good coaching and it takes talent, but there's got to be a sense of togetherness there.
Yeah.
Clearly, for you guys to three-peat, that exists at Xaverian.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, our coaching staff, it's a blessing to have them. Both the Carvins, they're amazing. James Carvin, our offensive coordinator, he's great. Billy Carvin, his older brother, he's great. He's the quarterback's coach. Coach Freely, my corners coach, he's been there for a long time, knows what he's talking about. I have relationships with all the coaches, not even just them. There's Coach White, Coach Warren, there's countless more. But I'm blessed to have all of them as coaches. And there's really not another coaching staff I would hope for, because, I mean, I know right after games, they're starting to game plan for next week. They're going to make sure that they have the right stuff for us to be able to be ready to perform in the game. And they're just constantly working around us, and they're trying to make the best for us. So, I mean, there's nothing more to do than just pay respect to them.
All right, let's get into the recruiting side of things. You originally committed to Colgate. You then decided to decommit. What went into that thought process, and what made you make that decision ultimately?
It was nothing against Colgate. I really loved the coaching staff, the community, and everything with that school. It was great. I was happy to be committed, and I was unhappy to decommit, but I also wanted to, just because I was gonna miss the coaching staff and everything like that. But I just didn't want to play defensive back. I was committed as a corner, and in my heart, I really felt that receiver was where I wanted to be, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But I eventually decided to post grad, just because I think that with this gap year, another year of developing, I'll have some real options at receiver, and hopefully I can just follow my dream.
So let's get into that. You decommit from Colgate, you decide to do a PG year. I think it's smart. I've always said it, Christian, that if you're in a position to potentially be an FBS, FCS kid, a post-grad year, if you think you need that extra year, not only for development reasons, but that extra year to get more on tape, that extra year to put yourself in a different situation so that you can develop more. If you need that extra year, do it. What was your thought process there beyond that, though? I mean, I'm sure you had conversations with your family, Coach Fernaro. Why did you ultimately decide, you know what, rather than play this out on the recruiting trail, I'm going to do that gap year, I'm going to do that PG year, and hopefully that puts me in a position where I could get more offers?
Yeah, I had a bunch of talks with Coach Renaro and my family, and ultimately the summary of those conversations were just follow your heart and do what you want to do, and we're all here to support you. Coach Renaro was like, "Yeah, just do what you want to do. Like if you want to post grad, then post grad, because I know like you can go and do big things. Like just whatever your heart desires, then just go do it." The same thing with my parents. They're willing to pay the money to post grad because they believe that I can get some type of benefit out of it. And I mean, not only did I have a few offers for class of 2026, I just think that taking the extra year of developing will just help me get bigger, faster, and stronger, and ultimately be ready for college.
Now, as far as post-grad schools are concerned, you're looking at Williston, Northampton, and Avon Old Farms, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm visiting both at the end of the month, and then after those visits, I will make a decision.
Excellent. Well, those are two. I mean, Coach Beaton at Williston, terrific coach. Coach Hooley down at Avon, one of the best in New England. I mean, they're two great coaches.
Yeah.
So regardless of where you end up, rather, you're going to get an opportunity to develop further, and you're going to get showcased, which is really what it's all about ultimately. That's where the PG year helps you. And certainly when you look at your size, 6'1", what are you, about 180 right now, 175, 180? Yeah. I mean, that's really good size. That's versatile size where you can play the X, the Z, the F. You can move around in formations and do some different things, especially with your ability to take the top off of coverage. I'm sure that those coaches and those offenses are going to be able to use you. And both of those coaches have a track record of developing receivers. So that's good as well. You are watching the Recruiting Visit. I'm your host, John Sirenitas, for our first episode of the offseason. We are fortunate tonight to be joined by Xaverian wide receiver defensive back Christian McIntyre. And Christian, what do you do to prepare yourself now? So you're done with your high school career, but now you have to start to think about your college football career. What are you doing the rest of your senior year to prepare for that opportunity? Are you playing other sports? If not, what are you doing specifically in terms of your training to get you ready to play a PG year?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been, lifting as much as I can, 5-6 days a week, running 4 or 5 times a week, just, grinding as hard as I can to get ready for this prep year. And then once I get on campus of either of those two schools, whatever one I choose, I know either coach is going to develop me to my best ability. And I think by the end of the season next fall, I will be ready to go on and go to college and hopefully play somewhere early.
Are there any camps or combines on the docket for you this winter, spring, or into the summer?
Not yet. I got to see what schools reach out to me, what schools I like the most, and then we'll go from there with camps and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited to see the future and what it holds for me.
Now, despite the fact that you're going to PG, are you going to be visiting any colleges this spring or into the summer?
Yeah, 100%. As of right now, I am visiting. I'm going to UConn this weekend. I'll be going to Army sometime in the spring, and I'm sure I'll be down at UPenn. I just got offered by them today, so I'm definitely gonna go visit.
Coach Santos, that's a good staff. And who did you speak with, Coach Borden?
Yeah, I spoke with Coach Borden. I've been
good man.
With the receivers coach, and I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Those are great guys. I mean, I have nothing but the utmost respect for those guys. We were fortunate the last few years to cover them up at UNH. They're terrific guys. The offensive staff there is tremendous. I mean, you're going to get great coaching if you ever ended up at a place like that, because those guys have been doing it at a high level for a long time. And I've had guys that I coached that play for them that would tell you the same thing. Yeah. If I asked your teammates to tell me 3 things about you, what would they say?
Say I'm a leader. When times get tough or facing adversity, they know I'm going to be there to pick them up and tell them that, we're going to get through this game. We're going to win this game. We're going to get a relentless worker, someone that's going to be there 100% of the time, take accountability, work as hard as I can, and try and make everyone else better around me. And lastly, I'm committed. I'm committed to wherever I'm at, and to loving my guys, making sure that we're going to be ready for whatever's coming next.
Now, what if I asked your coaches and or teachers that same question? What are 3 things they would say about you? What do you think they would say?
I would definitely think that they would say that I'm a leader too. I try and be a leader in the school as well. Say hi to kids in the hallway, and make new friends. It's definitely something that I think I have. And 2 other things, I would definitely say my teachers think I'm a hard worker too. I keep my grades up, A's and B's, pretty high GPA. And lastly, let's see. I would say that my teachers would say that I am. Let's think here. I think they'd say I'm very, very like strict and disciplined with work and stuff like that. Like, you'll see on my report cards, like, I have no missing homework. Even just workouts too. Like, my name is always X'd off. I'm always there when I need to be there, and above and beyond if I can.
We all think about playing football, and football is top of mind. Of course, you played in high school, you want to play in college. It's all football all the time, but there is the academic component too as well.
Yeah.
Have you thought about what you want to major in when you eventually go to the school you want to go to? Have you thought about what you want to major in, and have you thought about life after football in terms of a potential career?
Not too much. I mean, I kind of feel like I have the basic answer, like an entrepreneur, business type of thing. But life after football, I haven't really thought about it yet. Just I'm still young. I want to play football for as long as I physically can. But yeah, definitely something along the lines of entrepreneurship or something like that.
Nice. Obviously you want to have a life off the field. And I think one of the things, and college coaches do watch this show, I think one of the things we try to stress at New England Football Journal is we want them to get to know the entire athlete, not just the football player. So when you're not at Xaverian, when you're not lifting, when you're not running, when you're not practicing, when you're not playing, what do you like to do off the field? What are some hobbies that you have off the field, or some things you like to do off the field to get away from the game?
Yeah, I go to Disney with my family a lot. We take a lot of vacations together. Blessed to say that my parents can pay for vacations, so we go to Disney a lot. I think that definitely clears my mind when I go there, and to separate myself from the sporting life and just kind of get away. And honestly, I like to go to the Cape in the summer, just refresh in between workouts. I'll go on the weekends and just a little mental refresh. Not have to worry about football, let my body rest a little bit. And I also like to go to New Hampshire with my cousins. I like traveling a lot, I'd say, just because it gets, like, whenever I'm here, I feel like I just think about football. Like, whenever I'm just sitting in my house, it's like football. So I mean, every time I can get away, it's just kind of like a good mental reset.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then that's important, right? I mean, it's an important part of it. Look, as coaches, we all want the gym rat, right? We want the guy that loves it, that loves to watch film, that loves to work out, that is consumed by it. But there is a balance. There is a physical and psychological balance.
100%.
I think it's good to get away from it, because if nothing else, and trust me when I tell you, and I've been in football for 30 years. Trust me when I tell you, even when you get away from it, you're still thinking about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
It's not like if you're sitting there at Disney, you're like, screw football. I'm all Disney, all rides. I want to take the 100th picture I've taken in my life with Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah.
You're still thinking about football. I hope you're not taking pictures with them at your age, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
good.
Definitely pack cleats, and
we're from Norwood. We don't do those things.
Yeah. I definitely pack footballs and cleats when I go. Me and my brother will go hit the field somewhere whenever we're away. But I think that being, like, on a beach and playing catch with a football is like a good reset than being on the field catching on turf, running around against other people. But I think that just on a beach or a lake or something like that, it's definitely good for me. I like to do that a lot.
And obviously, speaking of the psychological part of the game of football, I want to go back to football here for a sec. I like asking these kinds of questions just because it helps me better understand the athlete that I'm interviewing. But talk about your pregame routine. Are you one of these superstitious guys that put your uniform out over on your bed the night before, or you change or get dressed a certain way? Do you eat a certain meal? And if so, what is your pregame meal? What is a go-to meal for you before the game? What is your pregame routine like?
Well, I mean, there's a variety of music. Honestly, really, I don't think music is a big factor for me in pregame. It's actually kind
Now hold on. The music's a big part of this for me. I want to start with your routine and meal first. Then we're going to separate music. See, I think you've watched the show before. We're going to separate music as its own segment because it's an educational segment for me, Christian. You're teaching me today's music because I'm 51 years old. I'm into Metallica and Alice in Chains, and me and your old man probably listen to the same stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, before a game, really, I mean, I'm just in the locker room with my guys. I mean, some of them are locking in with headphones on, but honestly, really, I don't really have any superstitions or anything like that. I kind of just, I wake up, my mom will heat something up, breakfast, French toast, usually French toast I eat in the morning before games. And then I'll go to school, eat some fruit, and then I'll have what my dad makes, usually either a burrito or something like that to fuel me up. And then after that, I don't eat. I have a few bananas just so I don't cramp, even though I usually do end up cramping because I'm on the field the entire game. But
yeah, when you're playing three ways, it's hard not to cramp.
yeah, but really after lunchtime, it's just a few bananas and maybe an apple, just because I don't like to feel stuffed before the game. I like to kind of feel not hungry, but just have an empty stomach, so I'm not feeling anything during the game.
It's interesting because I've talked to so many guys on this show, and we've been doing it now for 4 years, and they're talking about eating Jersey Mike's and Chipotle and steak and cheeses. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? Especially early in the season when it's hot out.
Yeah,
It's 80 degrees for a 7 o'clock kickoff, and it's still 80 degrees the first couple of weeks of September.
yeah,
How the hell are you playing a football game with that crap in your stomach?
yeah.
I've never understood it. So to hear someone say, I have a healthy burrito or a couple of bananas, that's actually refreshing because most of these people
Yeah.
that I have on the show are talking about having like full meals an hour and a half before kickoff. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just like to have an empty stomach, so I just feel fine during the game. I've never had a stomach issue or had to throw up. So I just like to keep it pretty much empty. The banana is just the potassium, so I don't cramp. That's pretty much it.
And now to the music part of things. I mean, again, I like to separate the music because it's an educational experience for me. So you're not a big music guy before the game. You're not the team DJ who's picking the songs in the locker room, or you're not the guy that's got your beats on and you're walking around. You're not that guy.
No, I kind of like to stay somewhat loose, but usually when we go up to meetings, all of a sudden we'll hear a guitar as loud as possible, and we'll go back in, and it'll be all the linemen listening to literally Alice in Chains and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then as
Let's
soon as
go.
all the DBs and wide receivers get back, our safety Ryan steals the mic or steals the speaker and plays a lot of stuff. But I mean,
Like NBA Young Boy or
be a young boy.
Shabuzi.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, but it's a big mix before our game. But really, what gets me going is not even the locker room music before the game. It's just kind of warming up on the field, and the music they play. It's just kind of repeated every week at Xaverian. But I don't know. It's just something like it's just game day atmosphere when I hear that music, and that's what locks me in. To be honest with you,
So you don't have like a specific band or artist that helps you lock in pregame that you're listening to. That's something that's kind of sort of your own personal tradition that you listen to every week.
Not really, actually.
Wow.
No, really.
I don't think I've ever had that answer in the history of this show.
Yeah, no. I just keep it simple, to be honest with you. I don't really have like a favorite artist before a game. I just like to feel the music on the field, get locked in, get loose that way. But yeah.
You know, when I think about guys like you who come from a family that makes the investment and the commitment to their children to give them the best education possible and the best opportunities, that not only comes from a place of they're your parents and they care about you,
Yeah.
but it also comes from a place where, in a lot of ways, and I think sometimes parents get vilified for this, Christian, your parents do vicariously live through you at times. Okay. I mean, look, I'm a parent. I've been in education. I've been a teacher. I've been a head football coach. I'm an administrator. Like, I get it. Like, they want the best for you, but they also channel themselves into you because they want to see as much of themselves in you as well. And as I mentioned to start the show, your dad was a terrific athlete in his day. How much is having him there, someone who's been through it, understands the rigors of playing high school football and high school sports and sports in general? How much has that helped you in your journey?
I think more so, not really anymore in high school, and not really too much when I started playing varsity, just because then I started learning from coaches and I started just like watching film and figuring out on like watching NFL players on YouTube. But more so, he developed me a lot when he coached me, not even just helping me learn plays and stuff like that, just like the extra work we would do in the yard where I'd throw to him or stuff like that, or we'd race each other, like stuff like that. Cause he's still athletic to this day. Like he can still put on some cleats right now and go out to Xaverian.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, I remember him as a player.
Yeah. So he definitely developed me through my youth years and definitely got me faster. And we had a lot of time together in our backyard. But really that ended in like 8th grade freshman year, because then he knew that, I could kind of do things by myself and figure it out by myself, because, the game's changed in a lot of ways. So I started studying more so NFL players on YouTube.
All right, a couple of questions here left for you, and you've done a great job today, brother. Really appreciate you taking the time. Why do you love playing football?
I feel like before I can even remember, my mom just always saying, Christian had a football in his hand. Ever since he was 2 years old, and like trying to just play with a football as much as I can, or trying to learn about the game when I was 6 years old with my dad watching like Thursday night football. Like, I think it was just kind of like something that came to me without me even realizing it. And then it's just like, I don't even remember when it clicked for me and I started loving it. I feel like just ever since I can remember, I've just loved the game. And it's definitely unforgiving sometimes, and there's ups and downs, but it's definitely the best thing in the entire world, and it helps off the field things, and it's fun on the field.
Amen, brother. It is the best game in the world, no doubt about that. Final question here for you, Christian. What is a program getting in you when you commit to them? What are they getting in you as a person and as a player? And not only that, but what are you pledging to them in terms of your commitment to the program?
You're going to get someone who can do anything and everything you ask. I can play receiver, slot receiver. I can throw the ball if you need me to throw the ball. I can cover anyone you want me to cover, outside or inside, safety, slot, outside. I can do really anything you ask me to. I can tackle, catch, jump. And I think you're going to get someone who is committed 100%, just like I showed at Xaverian. Always repping the X, always representing the community, working my hardest to show everyone that this community is the best community. So wherever that will be for my prep year next year, I'll try and show that community who I am and what I can bring. And same thing when I decide where I'm going for college.
All right. Great stuff, Christian. I want to say thank you for taking the time, man. We really appreciate it. Obviously, look, you put up big numbers this past year. You've had a great high school career. You're ready to take the next step in your career, both in terms of being a post-grad and in college. We can't wait to see what's next for you, man. And as always, and I say this to every kid that I put on this show, if there's any way we can ever help, let us know, man. We're here for you. We're here to represent New England football, and we want to help all the kids in New England achieve their dreams. So if there's any way we can help, man, feel free to reach out and let us know.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. All right, that is Christian McIntyre, wide receiver, defensive back at Xaverian. That will do it for this week's episode of the Recruiting Visit. For Christian McIntyre, I'm John Sirenitas. Till next week, peace.